We are back with our midweek update, and we are reversing one of yesterday's pivots. We are moving off Lamar and back to Drake May at 6,900. The why is simple. Dash rank 100, projected 23, and he draws Cincinnati, who have the absolute worst defense overall with an opponent rank of 32. Ownership around 24% is fine for this ceiling. He is averaging 21 fantasy points per game, with recent 15, 19, and 18, showing a steady floor while the matchup adds the spike week path. The news cycle backs the confidence too. Essentially, sports highlighted Drake May at the top of the MVP ladder in Week 12 and called him a waiver and trade target in their Week 12 advice, which mirrors market sentiment and usage trends. At running back, we are pivoting back to Jahmyr Gibbs at 8,300 after yesterday's Henry lean for salary. Gibbs carries a dash rank 100 with a projection of 22 and faces the Giants, who have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 29. Ownership is 25.87%, but we are fine eating that because he is averaging 21 per game and just posted 23 and 41 in 2 of his last 3. This is the archetype we want in soft matchups, a back who scores both through the air and on the ground, which keeps the touch count resilient. Essentially, Sports Week 12 RB rankings again put him in the elite tier, which matches our numbers. At wide receiver, we are upgrading Jackson Smith and Jigba to the core at 9,000. He brings a dash rank 100, a 24-point projection, and draws Tennessee, who have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 27. Ownership sits 11.17%, which is a sweet spot for a 24 per game producer with recent 24, 20, and 25. The beat matches the math. Essentially, sports called out nearly nailing his projection last week and highlighted him as a top matchup, and the league taking the Buda Baker hit seriously with a fine tells us nothing has changed about his full-time role and target share. At tight end, we are pivoting off yesterday's Kelsey and locking Trey McBride at 6,800. Dash rank 100, projected 19, facing Jacksonville, who have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall with an opponent rank of 16. Ownership near 28.47% is deserved because he is averaging 19 and has dropped 31 and 31 in his last 2. The narrative lines up with the numbers. Essentially, sports noted he sits at 71 receptions for 718 yards and 7 touchdowns through 11 weeks, which is elite volume at the position. The fine for his celebration last week was noise. The role remains alpha. Our flex shifts from the news-dependent Etienne Hold to Rashee Rice at 7,700. Dash rank 100, projected 17. Colts are a middle-of-the-pack defense overall with an opponent rank of 15. Ownership 12.3% gives us leverage on a 19 per game player with recent 10, 19, and 10, who remains attached to a high-scoring offense. The Week 8 penalty surfaced in the news, but there is no indication of a role change, and this is a solid mid-tier ceiling play when we are prioritizing floor elsewhere. Defense moves from yesterday's Packers to the Seahawks at 4,000 versus Tennessee, who have the absolute worst defense overall with an opponent rank of 32. We are targeting short fields and pressure in a game where Seattle's offense can force negative scripts for Tennessee late. At 7.7% ownership and an 11-point projection, the price meets the ceiling case for defensive volatility. Now to values, and we are tightening the pool around correlation and leverage. Tyler Shaw is our preferred salary saver at quarterback at 4,400. He draws Atlanta, who have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall with an opponent rank of 19. Projection is 17 with 7.2% ownership, and the game log is moving in the right direction at 19, 10, and 5. Crucially, local beat coverage and national notes confirm the role. The New Orleans Saints named the rookie QB1 after the early season struggles, as reported this week, so we are buying the snaps and price in large field builds. At running back, Jack Westover is a pure punt at 4,000 only if you are jamming studs. He faces Cincinnati, who have the absolute worst defense overall with an opponent rank of 32, but his projection is just one with zeros in recent fantasy scoring. This is last piece only when every dollar matters. At wide receiver, Jahan Dotson at 3,400 is a thin MME dart who benefits from correlation in Eagles stacks. He faces Dallas, who have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 31, and he has recent lines of 6, 0, and 11 at just 1.03% ownership. The off-season trade to Philly and Pro Football Focus ranking the Eagles pass catching group number 1, as cited by Essentially Sports, keep the door open for spike weeks even if the median is modest. At tight end, Austin Hooper at 2,500 is our basement punt to pair with May stacks when you need max salary relief. Cincinnati have the absolute worst defense overall with an opponent rank of 32. Projection is 3, with essentially 0 ownership, and recent 0, 0, and 3 is thin, but the correlation and price unlock the slate's top ceilings. We will also keep Hunter Henry in the value flex pool at 3,900. He draws Cincinnati, who have the absolute worst defense overall with an opponent rank of 32, projects 10 at 11.4% ownership, and has delivered 9-2 and 9 recently, with a 9 per game average. The Sportsline model highlighted him among tight end props earlier, and we like the double stack potential with May in a premium matchup. If you need a defensive punt, the Jets at 2,000 are a pure volatility play. They face Baltimore, who have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall with an opponent rank of 20. Projection is 3 with 1.77% ownership. This is strictly a salary unlock in lineups that are otherwise stacked with ceiling. To recap the changes from yesterday, we are moving back to Drake May from Lamar. Because the opponent rank is best on the slate, the projection is equal, and the news supports continued MVP-level play. We are returning to Jahmyr Gibbs over Derrick Henry for the softer matchup and pass game ceiling while accepting the chalk. We are upgrading Jackson Smith-Njigba over Jameson Williams for a higher projection in a similarly soft opponent rank. We are pivoting to Trey McBride from Travis Kelce to ride elite recent volume. We are swapping the Etienne hold for Rashee Rice to remove the injury variable while maintaining upside. And we are shifting defense to the Seahawks for a cleaner path to sacks and short fields. We will monitor Friday practice reports, but as of now, the matchup-driven edges are clear, and we are building around them.